First off, I just want to say thank you to all those that participated in the comment section of the previous ramble where I was talking about Osmumten's Fang and weapon imbalance in general. I did state that I wasn't going to die on the hill of the stance I took, and although I still do think weapon charges would be good for the game, I understand people's concerns with that just being obnoxious and just if we keep going, if we were to go down that road of continually giving charges to weapons, that would apparently people that have played RS3 say like that's kind of the road RS3 went down. I do agree, like just having melee weapons, especially just having charges, does seem a little wonky. My main point was just to make it as not inconvenient, to make it as convenient as possible, which was just basically streamlining all potential future weapons that are really powerful to just hold 100,000 charges and just be really quick and convenient to charge up. So it does sound like a lot of you don't really want to go down that road, which is totally fine. I mean, we haven't really seen literally one of the only melee weapons. I guess if you include Blade of Saildor, that takes charges, but really the only one is the Scythe. And I guess Arclight, which is kind of getting to the point of being useless just because there are better weapons out now. But my concern is just, having previous best in slot weapons that really just won't see any use in the coming years, which, would kind of suck. But it sounds like a lot of you just simply want Osmumten's Fang to not have a double accuracy roll on Slash. And I think that's totally appropriate. I'm pretty sure if Jagex put that up to a poll, that it would pass. I don't think anybody would really be that butthurt, and that's totally fine. So I'm not going to talk much more about that. If you guys want me to make a dedicated ramble on just weapon balancing in general, again, just with some further points and also addressing some of your guys' concerns and comments and takes down from the previous ramble, let me know. But today I want to talk about what I mentioned at the very end of the previous ramble, which was just re-enhancing skilling, making skilling making skilling desirable, basically. So desirable can mean a lot of different things. I made a Twitter post that was just or an X post, I should say, Jesus Christ, talking about the state of skilling and how it needs to be addressed. Fundamentally, skilling is not in a good place. So obviously we deal with what skilling is today. A lot of people don't really see a problem with it because we're just so used to what skilling has become in this game. And my position is not to make all skilling high intensity or even make it seem like PVM. That's exactly what I don't want it to be. I just want it to be desirable to do, whether that be super AFK methods, which people enjoy, some really fun, challenging methods, and just very rewarding skilling where you can go and skill and just be adequately rewarded for your time and effort. And what sucks is that I think the developers and I think we as a community think skilling can never be good because there's such things as bots. And so if you make a method that's pretty just, I don't know, boring and just click this rock, then bots will just infest it and the prices of stuff will go down. But it's we have bots that are botting PVM. I mean, I just really don't think we should be going down the road of we can't have traditional skilling ever be rewarding because there's such things as bots. The bot issue needs to be addressed. That's a completely other topic. We need to address botting seriously. We got to get rid of, I know botting will never get completely removed, but we as a community need to really be more vocal about botting ruining this game. And the team, I feel needs to just pour in a few more resources into addressing this. I've even I've given ideas in the past, on Sabecast and stuff, of just things that really do seem like they are possible, but it doesn't seem like Jagex gives a flying fuck. And it also doesn't seem like the community really gives a fuck anymore either, because we're not really being vocal about it. So the team probably thinks, or whoever is behind botting, it's they just don't really care because we're not making a big deal about it. If we made a bigger deal about it, I think they would be more willing to, do something about it. Anyway, I want to talk about a skilling method that I just came up with over the past couple days in my mind, and then I drew it. This is an abomination of a drawing because I'm not actually that artistic, but it is a rune crafting method, and obviously rune crafting has already kind of been addressed with Guardians of the Rift and just all the amount of changes that they've made in the past. But I want to make some further changes, and I want to make a brand new minigame that addresses the concern of rune crafting not being able to give enough runes per hour, basically. So people just will never rune craft for runes because there's Shopscape and you can just PVM for your runes, and for mains you just buy them. Obviously this is mainly talking about people that, I mean, obviously it's mainly addressing Iron Men, but this would also help in the economy for mains and mains that want to actually get rewarded for their time rune crafting. This would be a really phenomenal activity. So, and fun, I think. So I'm just going to pull up my GIMP program, and before you guys laugh, I'm already laughing, but this is basically the idea. Is you got 4 different paths, and I do have some other slides up here, so just this isn't all it is. So there's 4 different paths getting to a central altar, and this place is called the Cosmic Underworld. So it kind of has that same cosmic altar feel like the traditional altar. Like when you're crafting cosmics, there's like 4 different entries. So there's that, and then these diagonal paths are just how you exit. So you would run through here, there's some obstacles, and then you'd run out, and then you would get teleported. These would have like a different color that change every few ticks, and then you get teleported to a random different side again. So basically this is what this is what it looks like from like a side, like kind of like a slanted bird's eye angle. So there would be 4 different paths, obviously, and there are different little things going on, and I'll address those. So first, I'll just briefly go into it, and then there's like some notes I have. So this is where you would put your Catalytic Essence, and I'll talk about Catalytic Essence in a second. You would charge them up here, and you would decide at this station what the altar is going to be crafting. So you could go here and say, I want to craft blood runes, and then this altar would all of a sudden turn into like a blood altar. This is a chest that only holds pure essence, so you would basically have noted pure essence. This can only hold pure essence, and this altar can only be used with pure essence. You would click here, and there would be a right-click option that says store, and so you could just bring noted pure essence and charge it in there. And then all you have to do is simply click it once, and you've instantly filled your inventory with essence. Then you'd fill your pouch or whatever. And then there's 3 pools right here, as you see. This would regen your stam, this would regen your prayer, and this would regen your HP. So while you're in the underworld, your prayer and HP are constantly being drained. So just slowly over time. And obviously your run's being drained because you're running. So these would be chargeable. So what you would do is you'd go to the stamina pool and you would charge it with noted stams. You'd go to the prayer thing. You'd charge it with any sort of prayer restoring potions. You could just charge them in there. And the food one as well. You could just bring noted food in and charge it up. So basically this is a way to get food, prayer, and stamina out of the game as well, because you would be using it. These are not just unlimited. They would continually have to be charged up, but you could charge it with a fuck ton of it. So basically, and I know I'm not really getting to the core gameplay yet, but just hear me out. So these would be just one clickable. So when you want to just restore, you just click here, restore, restore, restore. So let's say you have 99 prayer and you're down to like, I don't know, 9 prayer points. When you click this prayer thing, it'll restore you to full, and it'll drain 90 prayer from that pool. So as much as you've charged, it's like one prayer pot, depending on your prayer level, would charge you with about, 120-ish prayer points. And so basically you're filling this stuff with your actual resources, and it's giving you the amount that you charge it with. Anyway. Now, I want to talk about the Cosmic Underworld. So basically, constant slow drain of HP and prayer, 3 pools that can be stocked with noted stams, as I was saying, and all that stuff. The essence chest is stored with noted pure essence only, and blood essence, which we have seen in the game that are dropped from TOA and other things. From Next, they were first introduced. Blood essence are just fundamentally around the game changed to Catalytic Essence. And Catalytic means the superior rune, so not elemental, not air, water, earth, and fire, but the other ones. For use with any of the catalytic altar. So this could be used in the future if you wanted a death runecraft, you didn't want to use this thing. The catalytic essence would just be a catalytic essence, and whenever you're crafting with a catalytic essence at any catalytic altar, it's going to give you that boost of extra runes. The catalytic table is obviously where you store the catalytic essence. So right here, this little spot where you're changing the altar up here, this would also store your catalytic essence. So this whole mini game is funded by catalytic essence. You need to have this thing charged in order for this altar to even work. And there's 4 different paths with unique obstacles, which I'll talk about in a second. And failure, anytime you fail the obstacles, you result in being sent back and your essence are lost. So you just got to fill up your pouch again. And after essence are used, run back to any diagonal corner to get randomly sent to another path, depending on the color portal that's changing. So basically, if you wanted to be really efficient, you would just run to... So you would craft your runes up here, and then you would just run and you'd enter immediately. But if you really wanted to, so each of these 4 things would have a different color, and these colors on these would be changing every 6 ticks. So you could technically always go to the same path that you like the most, but you would sometimes just have to wait, randomly for a certain amount of time. So efficiently, you would constantly be randomized to a different side, and that would actually be the most efficient way. But if you wanted to just kind of chill and you have a favorite, you could just wait until the color changes to that. And 25% rune crafting XP is granted due to basically around double the runes crafted per hour compared to traditional altars. So overall, you're basically getting half XP and double runes crafted. Now, we already know with traditional blood rune crafting, it's about, I want to say it's about 12,000, if that was correct. It's been a minute, but I think it's about 12,000 blood runes per hour. So this would basically increase it to 24,000, and it would also go even crazier in a second. So I'll talk about that after we get to these 4 different paths that I'm going to be talking about. So 4 paths are, the first one is red, blue, green, and gray path that changes colors every 2 ticks and gives you a tick reaction time to change prayers. So this would be a simple, you're running down the path and the whole floor is changing colors every 2 ticks. And whatever it changes, you have to change your overhead prayer to mage, range, melee, or off. So, and you would get 1 tick window to change it. So you're running, you see the color change, you just immediately have to click the color change. So with this path, you could simply just click the altar up ahead and then just go to your prayer book and start, changing your prayers. But if you missed one, you'd have to get sent back and you lose your essence. You just click here a million times and you keep going. The second path would be a red light, green light path. So it's basically, it has a succulus eye, like when you're fighting Duke Succulus, that eye appears. It would be kind of like a succulus eye at the very end of the path that opens and closes. And basically it opens randomly, but you do have a tick reaction time to completely stop your character moving. And the eye can do fakies and stuff, but technically there's no actual RNG if you're paying close attention. But the eye can do a fake where it's about to close, but it opens again, some shit like that. And the coolest part about this is this whole thing is non-instanced. So you're going to be seeing players fail all the time. So you're running down, you're going to see some guy that's red light, green lighting, and he doesn't stop in time and he gets sent back and you can laugh at him and stuff. So that'd be kind of fun. And then the third path would be a lightning floor path that's very similar to the very end of Wardens in TOA, where there's just the floor starts lighting up. So there's a little, shadow, and then you do have a tick to move. And that's simply the path. And then number 4 is a Sodas Egg Maze path that continually changes in a forward motion, traveling 2 tiles a tick and begins to reset from the beginning. So I know that's really confusing, but basically this Sodas Egg Maze is continually being procedurally generated. So it's going from here up to here, and then as soon as it hits here, down here starts changing, and it's changing every 2 tiles per tick. So it's do. It's generating a new little path to run, and then as soon as it gets to this point up here, it starts over from here. So technically, if the path is already like right here, you could start running immediately, but you couldn't go too slow because as soon as it hits here, it starts resetting the path again. So it would just be a pretty easy thing. Obviously, you can mess up and you get sent back. And the cool thing is you can build up a streak of plus 13 invisible RC levels, but drains once you fail. So you'd have to build up. So once you get like a streak of 13 successful things, which should be pretty easy if you're paying attention, then you're going to be camped at 112 RC. Now, that will have a part to play in the next slide. So these are rune crafting changes I want around the game. So this is the important one, is scale all multiple runes per level so each additional level is continually granting more runes. The problem we see is like blood rune crafting. You can start crafting at level 77 and it remains 1 blood rune per essence until 99, which is stupid in my opinion. I think you should be continually, every level you get, there's a chance of getting more runes. So even though by 99 it might not be double blood runes because, you know, that might be a little bit crazy, at least it would be about like, you know, 60 or 70% more than normal. So every level would be granting a few more. And if you were, you know, obviously at like a level 112 RC, maybe that would almost be double blood runes or something. So think about that. You're running and you're getting to craft at the altar basically twice as fast as traditional altars. You're using a catalytic essence, which is stored in here, so it's already charged at this thing. So basically, you're already crafting about 24,000 blood runes an hour. And with this passive change of basically you getting up to, you know, whatever, 112 RC, and potentially getting up to like 80 or 90% additional runes, you're basically going to be crafting about 40,000 blood runes an hour, maybe even slightly more if you're like really efficient. So now the XP is going to be half as much because you're not actually gaining more XP. So basically, you know, if you wanted to just train your RC, you know, could just train traditionally with day alt essence and stuff. And as I said, you can't store day alt in here. So you really are getting less XP, but the reward is going to be crazy and it's going to be high intensity. And you can die here if you're, you know, if your HP goes lower or goes to 0. And you're constantly being obviously drained. And so, yeah, I think that'd be cool. And I think this would be appropriate. So like for chaos runes, I'm not going to go into details, but this is a big overhaul where, like, for example, chaos runes, I think you only craft double chaos runes. Like, what the fuck is that? Why can you craft double deaths and only double chaos at 99? Chaos should shoot up to like 5x, you know, something like that, where it's like at 99, you are now crafting a significant amount of chaos runes where it's legitimately worth your time to craft them. Same thing goes with cosmic, astrals, you know, wraths, whatever. Wraths wouldn't obviously be that much because you start crafting 1 at level 95. But anyway, so yeah. And then also streamline all elemental runes to grant 15x runes at level 99. So currently air runes shoot up to 10x at 99, and you can craft about 200,000 air runes per hour. So I just want all elemental runes, air through fire, to grant 15x by the time you're level 99, which would be roughly 300,000 an hour at any of the elemental altars, which I think would just be cool. For a lot of Iron Men, this would just remove the incentive to even do Shopscape because you could just, you know, craft them and pretty fast and get it RCXP. I also would like to see the ability to have a chance to receive Catalytic Essence. Again, these are the blood essence things that would just be fundamentally changed when crafting runes at traditional altars. So if you are just doing traditional RC, you do have a chance, a rare chance of getting a Catalytic Essence just from traditionally crafting. So that makes sense in my head because why not get a rune crafting tool from rune crafting? And drastically reduce the wait times while Abyss RCing. I think you sitting there mining a fucking, like, I don't even know what the hell it is, like some fungus shit for like 20 seconds is just ridiculous. And I think that just needs to be that wait time should not even be a thing, honestly. You should just be zooming through Abyss RC. And you might be thinking, well, why would you even do Abyss RC if this minigame's coming out? Well, Abyss RC, you don't need to have the Catalytic Essence. So this minigame can only be funded through Catalytic Essence, and you can only use normal pure essence. So if you could still do traditional Abyss RC, get way higher XP rates, and actually get passive Catalytic Essence. So it would still be a use to doing traditional RC. And with this mini game coming out, you might be thinking, wow, holy fuck, like 40,000 45,000 potentially blood runes per hour funding this. First of all, you got to keep in mind the cost of Catalytic Essence would shoot up because they only store up to 1,000. So there would be a cost to doing this kind of mini game as a main. Like you'd have to be getting all these Catalytic Essence. And so there would be a cost, but you might be thinking, well, that's still ridiculous. 45,000 blood runes per hour, potentially at 99. But this would also assume that amounts of runes through PVM sources are drastically reduced. Because what we've seen happen over the years is people hate RCing, people think it's not worth the time, and people don't want to skill at all because it's boring as fuck. This would be fun, in my opinion. I think this would be a fucking blast. I think 4 different paths. They're just constantly fast-paced. You're running. You're seeing a bunch of people fail. You're crafting them very, very quickly, running to the portal, heading back, clicking on your you got to keep in mind as well, like, I want to see these little pools be, like, instantaneous. So, like, you spawn here, you click, and within one tick, you're already fully stammed up. You click again. Like this would be a 3-tick thing where it's like boom, 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 running. You're like clicking the little essence thing. And then you're running, you head back here, you get teleported to a random thing again. Come here, boom, 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 run, teleport, boom. If you ever fail, you get teleported back here. And then when this essence thing runs out, by the way, you can just charge this with as many as you want. So it's not like you have to keep charging every 1,000. This thing, you could just hold as many charges as you want. But you could change the rune. So if you had enough with blood runes, you could change it to a different one. And it's just a constant, just fun thing where you're just running in, seeing people get wiped out, and keeping your HP up and prayer up, and just having 4 different fun paths to go through. So this would be almost like, a form of Sepulcher in a way where it is high intensity. But because of the reduced amounts of runes being dropped through PVM sources, so we could just go through drop tables and just drastically reduce the amounts. And this would make it so this mini game is really, really worth your time. And rune crafting actually becomes the fundamental way to get runes again. Imagine that. Holy fuck. Can you imagine? And then add Catalytic Essence to a few more drop tables. So the drop tables that have like high amounts of runes being shat out, those can be heavily reduced and then give a Catalytic Essence drop instead. So that when you want runes, you actually go in Runecraft for them. And then this is just something fun, I think, would be add a direct Day Alt Mine teleport to the Amulet of the Eye by charging it with 1 blood shard. So as you see here, you just charge it with this, and then from then on, when you teleport, you can go to the Day Alt Mine directly. So most people that want to be rewarded would start doing this minigame. You need Catalytic Essence. You need to have, obviously, like preferably a high RC level. You need to have at least 40-something prayer if you want to do one of the paths that requires your prayer to be turned on. You're constantly having to fill these pools up, which would actually sink food from the game, sink prayer from the game, sink staminas from the game. And it's a very convenient way. There's no bank chest actually here. So this would all have to be like pre-prep. You just bring a bunch of fucking noted stams, bunch of noted prayer pots, bunch of noted food, store it up, boom, 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 store up your pure essence here, chuck them in there, chuck up your essence, and you get teleported in, and everything is just very fast-paced and you're running. And you only really want to do 1 rune at a time because there is no deposit box here. So if you're crafting blood runes, you would just constantly be building up your stack, and you could see it on the side. And then preferably you would have your colossal pouch and your rune crafting outfit, and you just be running over and over and over. So very, very fast paced and still kind of risky. If you fail, maybe you could even lose some health and stuff. So this would be a dangerous mini game. And yeah, so anyway, yeah, that's kind of my idea. I hope I got through it precisely enough. Yeah. Anyway, so you guys can let me know what you guys think. I think personally it'd be pretty fun. Maybe the rune amounts I said are just so insane. People are freaking the fuck out and they can't get over like the actual gameplay of this and how fun it could actually be. So yeah, but you know, obviously all of this stuff can be balanced. And if you guys have any suggestions or changes made or anything like that, you guys can let me know down in the comments. And yeah, so that's it. I will be coming out with another video where I describe another mining update. This technically wouldn't be a mini game, but a dead spot of mining. Well, I'll just leak it to you. I'll be talking about the coal mine, or the coal trucks. I'm sorry. The coal trucks that have seen absolutely no use. Not one person's used the coal trucks in the last 10 years. And I'm going to be sharing a little updated coal trucks video that I think would fundamentally change coal trucks. And there would be some other things in there talking about just changing mining in general to make it more addicting and fun and actually rewarding. So you actually get ore from your troubles. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this. Drop a like if you did. And be sure to subscribe. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.